3, 2, 1.
And now, you're tuned into the Navarro-Miller Report, featuring the hottest in news, entertainment, sports, and all those topics for the mainstream audience. The Navarro-Miller Report.
Welcome, everyone, to the Navarro-Miller Report. I'm your host, Dave Navarro.
I'm Jeremy Miller.
And what a freaking hot weekend, man. I'm like fine. I actually did a TikTok radio thing here on Saturday. I was melting, literally. No, I was literally melting where I'm at because it's. I hope it was wonderful for you, though.
Oh, no, it absolutely wasn't. It was scorching and miserable. But hey, it all depends on where you are. As you know, my younger brother just moved up to the Pacific Northwest, and he's wearing a jacket in 55-degree, slightly rainy weather.
I always hated Josh. I always hated Josh for a reason. Did not like that guy. Not just playing. Well, I mean, at least he's enjoying the wonderful weather while the rest of us are,
scorching.
Scorching hot over here. Wanted to welcome everybody to the stream already. We have some people on the stream, so wanted to welcome everybody here so far. We got a lot of stuff to chat with you on this wonderful scorching hot Monday afternoon. But before we get into the news aspect of everything, Jeremy, you got some wonderful interesting news coming from our favorite part of the world, Florida.
Yeah, we have our not only Florida, but also Walmart. So, two of the most wonderful places for interesting stories, you might say.
I tell you what, I'll go ahead and go to Walmart there and go have a good old time. I'll tell you what.
That's northern Florida.
Oh, sorry. Okay. My bad.
So we have a 29-year-old woman who entered the Walmart. I believe this was in Pinellas County. So Largo, Florida. Maybe it's near Key Largo. I don't know.
You anyway, know better than I would. I wouldn't know.
29 years old, and she entered on one of the scooter vehicles and decided to start tearing full speed up and down the aisles while tearing stuff off shelves and knocking over end displays. And when she was confronted by an employee who very politely asked her to stop, she assaulted her.
Of course.
So the rather wise, in my opinion, employees at Walmart stood back, allowed her to continue doing what she was doing, and it just videotaped her while waiting for the cops to arrive.
Oh, my God.
So this woman provided them with quite a lot of video proof of herself. And she was taken away and charged and released on, I think, $750 bond or $7,500 bond.
Are you sure she wasn't on the show Jackass by any chance? Maybe they had hidden cameras around there. I mean, that sounds like something they would do too. Just like have the hidden cameras and have night type of jousting type of stuff in the middle of a freaking Walmart or something.
But see, they would have the managers, permission or at least knowledge they were there to some degree.
Are we sure about that? Can we get confirmation on that?
Nowadays, they'd have to. In the early days, they probably could have gotten away with it. Now, are you kidding? A corporation like that would sue them to death.
I think they might have started doing that, early on when they first started, just to garner attention. Hi, this is Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then just everything just go bananas on there. But I think she might be
anything else. Once you start going corporate, and you have to start playing by the rules a little bit more, you can still look like the wild guys, but you're going to have to play by the rules just a bit more.
Gotta go ahead and tuck it, tuck in the shirt, adjust the tie a little bit.
I was going to say, where are you going with that?
Right. Well, it's the corporate thing, what can I say? Anyways, Derek, hi, how you doing? Candido, nice to have you on the stream. Kevin, nice to have you as well. Everybody, nice to have everybody in here. But Walmart wasn't the only place the only spot that was actually very interesting this week. And I read about this too, actually, but I'm going to allow you to talk about this really fast. This will make you think twice before going to Arby's. Let me just put it that way, and I'll have Jeremy take the rest.
And This has me questioning whether I may ever go to a fast food restaurant again. So we have an Arby's manager in Washington State. And if you live in Washington State and you're hearing this, please contact your local health department and the police department. They caught a manager downloading child pornography. That's how the police became involved. And at work, apparently, because it said it was coming from nearby this local Arby's, and the police went to check it out. He admitted to downloading the pornography, and when they checked his computer, there were also videos, or sorry, at least one video of him peeing in the milkshake mix.
Oh, wonderful.
And he admits to doing it to the police, or he admits to the police to doing it at least twice. They have video evidence of once. And they are requesting anyone, please search this story. Anyone, they didn't release the date in this article, but the police have the dates that it happened, the time frame it may have been. You may very well be in line for some compensation, and you may want to get checked out.
You think? That's disgusting. I mean,
that's horrific. It's absolutely horrific.
Anybody that said these words, have you done something different to the milkshake? Go get yourself checked immediately.
Oh, you had to go there.
Anybody who said those words after going through an Arby's drive-through, like, this milkshake tastes a little warm, don't you think?
Oh my God.
Sorry, I can't help myself.
It's absolutely horrible, and it really has me question. And this is the thing, having worked, in restaurants a long time, having grown up in my grandma's restaurant, the fact that this was a manager means that unless he's being video recorded in the store at all times, there's nothing you can do to catch this guy. If he's going to do something,
he's virtually the only one in there at the end of the night.
That's what I mean. And the manager in a fast food place is the one locking up 99.9% of the time. That scares the heck out of me because there's nobody supervising that guy.
Derek had a brilliant idea. He said he should have went with lemonade.
Oh, Derek.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Or what was that
things I will not be ordering from any fast food place for a very long time.
Well, wait a minute, what was that hot dog stand at the mall that used to serve lemonade as well?
Oh, hot dog on a stick.
Yeah, he should have gotten a job there.
Oh.
No one would have ever known the difference.
I hate you. You're ruining childhood memories. I hate you. I hate you.
No, ruining childhood memories would have been like, maybe they did that back then and you don't even know. You wouldn't have even known.
You shut me off the broadcast for a second.
No. This thing is like acting wacky. It's acting wackadoodle right now. So, I'm looking all fuzzy right now. Technical difficulties as per usual. What can you do? But you're still with me though, right?
I'm here.
The lemonade and everything. You're still with me.
Shut
right?
up. I hate you. I'm sorry. Riding down to the mall with my friends at like 11 years old on our bikes and hanging out and grabbing hot dog on a stick and a giant lemonade. Oh. So you're killing me here.
Well, you did grab a hot dog on a stick. I think the manager grabbed the hot dog on his stick.
I opened myself up to that one.
Open being the operative word.
Folks, we are going downhill so quickly.
Did you say down? I'm sorry. I could do these all day.
Sir, it is your duty to get together.
I'm doing the best I can here. But when you hear a story like that, you just can't help but to go in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. No pun, or actually pun very much intended.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, Lord. Well, anyways, I mean, thank God that at least they caught the guy and he admitted to doing that. And like Jeremy said, anybody that is in that area and has been to an Arby's in that area, you might want to go get yourself checked for internal urine. In other news,
I'm sorry for him, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. My deepest apologies.
oh my God. Or better yet, if you have been to an Arby's, you're in trouble. Sorry. I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You know, thank you. All right, getting on to some entertainment news, although that was pretty entertaining as well, actually. On a more serious note right now, as we all know, what's going on right now with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is pretty much a circus that has been made fun of by SNL and pretty much most other news outlets because of how interesting and how unconventional this whole situation is, mainly because of the testimony that Amber Heard has been giving so far. That's been a little bit off. Many people are questioning whether or not a lot of what she's saying is true or not, including Johnny Depp's attorneys, which grilled her today on the stand. She took the stand again today as we're going to, I believe, the third week in this trial. Amber Heard went ahead and took the stand, and they were talking about how Johnny Depp whacked her in the face, and she believed that her nose might have been broken. She wasn't sure. She went ahead and said, quote, "He did whack me in the face, and I did think I broke my nose. This is a picture of me the night after he did whack me in the face," which is a picture of basically a virtually nothing was on her face. In the picture, she was next to Johnny Depp, and there was no bruising, nothing. To which Johnny Depp's attorney went ahead and asked her. It was Camille Vasquez actually asked her, and she said, "quote, and makeup covers up swelling?" That was a brilliant question, and Amber really didn't have much to say, but you know that it did, and it continues on to say that Heard actually said that she put ice on it, and that actually lowered the swelling of the nose. These questions kept on going, one after the other, that Vasquez was asking. She was like really grilling her, and I think Amber was getting a little bit agitated at the questions, but because they were also saying how she was also claiming that she got pushed up against the door, and they were showing pictures of her back the night that she allegedly got pushed against the door by Johnny Depp. No bruising on her back, no scratches, no proof of abuse whatsoever on her body. So this all continues on to beg the question, what's going on here? Who's telling the truth? Who's not telling the truth? And of course, we're not going to find out until judgment has been given by the judge. You know, we have no idea. I mean, what do you think about all this that's going on, Jeremy?
Well, it's like you said, we have no idea. I mean, with the broken nose thing, I mean, we can dispute whether she had a broken nose all day, and probably dispute it pretty easily. Anybody who's been around, you know, the fight game for any period of time has seen what even the slightest break in the nose does to the area around the nose and around the eyes, the raccooning that generally happens. That can be mitigated with makeup, but it cannot be completely covered without pounds of pancake makeup. I mean, I'm talking old school 1940s, and I know this for a fact because Alan Thicke, who played my father on Growing Pains, was at one of his weekly hockey games that he played, and he took a puck to the face the first time, and it broke his nose. We were supposed to film in 3 days. And if you ever see that episode, yeah, they did wonders with the makeup, but you could tell his nose was still swollen. This area around the eyes was still swollen. They did the best they could, but you could tell there was a darkness. I mean, it can be mitigated.
Well, that and the fact of the matter.
Well, I was just going to say, but we're not arguing about, you know, whether it was a break or not. They're arguing about that. We don't know. What we also don't know is, did Johnny hit her? Now, I'll tell you something right now. I don't know. I'm not saying, I am not coming down on the side of a guy who hits a woman, not in any way, shape, or form, ever. But I have been in a situation before with a former love interest. And if I tried to leave an argument to physically remove myself from the situation, her response was to throw herself on my back and physically restrain me from leaving. Now, I never hit her. She did get elbowed in the chin one time when I was trying to adjust and get her off of me.
Yeah.
But she did get picked up and tossed onto the bed or onto the couch a few times so I could get out the door.
And at least
So
it was
again,
something soft. It was a soft landing.
well, I'm certainly not going to, I mean, that's not me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to throw a woman into a wall, into anything that's going to harm her. I'm certainly not going to do that, but I'm also not going to be attacked either.
Exactly. You have to defend yourself.
So I don't know what the case is here. I hope Johnny didn't smack her or hit her. You know, I would hope that's not the case. And the fact that that a lot of the things she has said, she has no proof for. A lot of the things she has claimed have been refuted by a lot of people. It just makes it harder and harder to believe the other things she's saying. So again, I am always on the side of the abused. And as we're seeing more and more with more of her testimony being refuted, more people speaking up and saying that they saw these things, even in her own testimony. I mean, she basically admits to being the abuser. So I'm sorry, I don't care, man or woman. If you're the abuser, I'm not coming down on your side. That's it.
And that, and the fact of the matter that, I mean, you bring up Alan Thicke and everything, but he was treated by professional makeup artists that tried to cover up as much as possible, and they couldn't even cover it up.
They were working with the lighting and everybody else as well. This was a team, a crew working together to try and make this not look right.
And we're talking about Amber Heard that covered it up herself, and I doubt that she's a makeup artist to go ahead and be able to be that good to cover up even underneath, like you said, because when somebody gets their nose bashed in, if it's broken, you'll see the black eyes on the side of it. Anybody that's broken their nose, they would see that. And not only that, even if it's bruised, there's still swelling. There's still swelling that, like, even if you put ice on it, it's still going to be red. And it was allegedly the same night that they had to go out. You're not going to get the swelling down in a few hours. That's going to take a while, and it's going to leave bruising. And
generally speaking, that's exactly how it goes down.
Exactly. So there's just a lot of questions in regards to that cross-examination that many people are no doubt are gonna have a field day on social media. Pretty much, because they already started. They already started doing the whole. They were making fun of this particular sound.
My dog stepped on a bean.
The entire week last week, with that sound over and over again on social media. So this right here, they're going to have a field day. All fans are going to have a field day on that. But again, it's not necessarily a laughing matter. These are two people with lives that are their lives are being on display right now. So much as Johnny's as Amber Heard's, both of their private lives are being on display. The bad habits, whether or not Johnny was on drugs. I mean, some of the testimony was Amber Heard saying how Johnny was so out of it that they had to, security had to carry him to his room. I mean, you're talking about a person that many people idolize, has many fans, and to hear this, true or not, it's still damaging to his reputation.
And it absolutely is. But I'd use that moment to circle back to something you and I have talked about, many times on here, and, just personally between us is, people need to remember that celebrities, athletes, entertainers, musicians, anybody you look up to because of their art or their craft or what they do, they're still human beings. Mm-hmm. They are still very flawed individuals. And the higher you put them up on a pedestal, believe me, the quicker they're going to fall off. So, live and learn when you sit here and you put these people up and, make them your heroes. And, people are very deeply flawed. Every human being on the planet, deeply flawed. We're all carrying a lot of baggage,
And And this for Johnny Depp has been detrimental to his career, because
Well, that's the whole point of the trial at this point is the
Well, yeah.
defamation. So
exactly, and the fact of the matter that he's lost on a lot of roles. He had to like leave the Beast movie. I forgot what it was called. He had to go ahead and leave that one. He had to like back out of the movie about the Beast or
Fantastic
whatever.
Beasts.
Yes, something like that. And now it seems that even director Jerry Bruckheimer is also questioning whether or not Johnny Depp is going to reprise his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in the two Pirates of the Caribbean movies that are actually in development right now. And Bruckheimer went ahead and he was quoted after speaking to the Times. They asked him what was Johnny Depp's future, and he said, quote, they asked him whether or not he was going to be a part of Pirates, and his answer was, quote, "Not at this point. The future is yet to be decided." So, and that just goes for like anything having to do with Johnny Depp's career in general. The future of Johnny Depp is still yet to be decided. Whatever happens in this situation, whatever happens, as far as the results from this judgment, whether it's on Heard's side or on Johnny's side, they're both not going to win. Because the question is still going to be looming on many people's heads whether or not Johnny was lying or not, whether or not Amber was lying or not. I mean, we're hearing a bunch of really, really dirty laundry being put out there from both of them. And it's just going to make a lot of people like second guess whether or not they want to do any business with Johnny or not. I mean, in my opinion.
I think you're right. I think that's kind of the basis of this whole case, was it being aired in the first place. This, type of dirty laundry was detrimental. And in Johnny's belief, obviously, since he's filed the suit, it was done intentionally. That's the whole basis of that. So, yeah, it absolutely sucks. I mean, to have everything you've ever done wrong, every mistake you've ever made, every eccentricity you have displayed for the entire world has got to suck. I can't even imagine going through something like that. But I will say this, I'm a little more of a pragmatist about it. I don't care if Johnny was a party animal. There were no stories. Well, we don't know. I mean, she's saying he does all these drugs and he does all this da 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 da. Okay, maybe he does. I don't know. But as a film producer, or as long as he's proven innocent, and I don't believe he abused her.
True.
I have no problem hiring him, because there's never been a story about Johnny having production shut down because he had to go to rehab. True. Or Johnny showing up on set trashed out of his mind and can't work. Or, if those stories were around, then as a filmmaker, I'd be worried. But, if he can come to work and give the performances he does, as long as he's not, abusing, people and doing horrible, evil stuff like that, I don't really care how he parties or what other eccentricities he has.
I agree. I mean, who knows? Maybe a lot of what he did actually helped a lot of his characters, bring his characters to life. I mean, Captain Jack Sparrow, it's like, all right. Like that whole, like,
why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum always gone? I mean, it's like, because you drank it all, bro. Like, no, for real, you really drank it all.
I identified with that when the first film came out. I was still around my drinking days. So, I definitely identified with that one.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, the future, again, Jared Bruckheimer said the future is yet to be decided. We have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, the trial continues. I think it's just going to get even worse before it gets better for both of them. I mean, again, they're just, all their dirty laundry is just being placed out there for the world to see. Some stuff that's very private that I'm sure Johnny did not want to have, because Johnny Depp, for the most part, he's a private person. I mean, I've never seen it until now. I've never really seen anything controversial come out of him. He's never really been seen, even by the paparazzi, he's never been really seen trashed out of his mind or being carried out or anything like that. He's kept his stuff very, very, like his circle very close and very personal.
He's always been in the industry a little more of a recluse.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he hasn't been, at the front and center of all the industry stuff and all that kind of thing. He's, a guy who's always kind of kept behind the scenes until he comes out with his new project that he's, pumping and pushing and excited about. So this cannot be comfortable.
This is torture. I'm sure this is torture for him because he's, again, like you said, he's a recluse. And to have all his private stuff, good or bad, be out there for the public to see, I mean, who wants that? I personally wouldn't want that, regardless of being famous or not. I'm a very private person myself. I don't like my stuff to be out there for the world to see. Hell, I even get upset at my dad sometimes for saying stuff that I'm like, dude, why are you telling people what I'm doing? Why? I don't want people to know what I'm doing.
Well, I can tell you it's not easy. I aired all of mine in, the biographical book I wrote with my buddy Brandon. And, I felt because of the addiction aspect of it, I had to air it all and be completely and totally honest about it all to try and help anybody I could who read it. But it's not easy, believe me. And the first time I actually went back and reread it all, seeing it put down in paper, oh man, did I feel like a piece of crap.
You're like, wow, I really did that.
Oh, it's hard. Believe me, it is not an easy thing. And to see it all put down in print, and given this was with my blessing because we were trying to tell this story,
yep.
It was still incredibly difficult.
I mean, but at the end of the day, though, I'm sure it was also very therapeutic for you to go ahead and get your stuff out there, put yourself out there like that. Wouldn't it be?
In some degree, it definitely was. But that was more in the initial process when we were delving into it with our writer and, going through the interviewing process. And that took many, 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 rounds of different interviews with each and every person that was involved in the story. I mean, she didn't just interview me and Brandon and take our words for it. She interviewed our entire families. She interviewed my castmates and other people who were involved with us so that she could get the complete story. Then she would come back to us and bring up certain things and want to get our take. And so she could piece it all together properly. That's when the catharsis really, came about, was talking about it, delving into it deeply like that. It was much harder later on once we started getting drafts of the actual book and I was starting to read through it bit by bit. That was a smack in the face, I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, you're a better man for it, though. I mean, yeah.
You heard him, folks. You heard him. He called me a better man. You heard him.
Or so I've heard. Or so I've heard. Hold on.
Objection, hearsay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, we have it on camera.
Hey, it's hearsay at this point. So we'll just go ahead and leave it at hearsay. But I mean, like I said, at this point, we still have to go. We still have so much more to go with this trial. Unfortunately, it's not over yet. There's still a lot more to go. And at the end of everything, deliberations are going to occur. And then there's going to be a decision at the end. We'll just have to find out to see what happens next. In other entertainment news, so there might be a super spreader at Cannes because, well, I mean, the film festival is actually doing their annual thing, and so far, I mean, many people believe that that's going to be the next super spreader. However, Jeremy, you have a little bit of a debate on that one because of what happened recently in North Korea at this point.
Well, it's not so much a debate. My debate comes from other sides of that. But as we've seen, I mean, large gatherings can be super spreaders. They can create, hotspots that just literally radiate out and create problems. Thank God more people are vaccinated. Thank God we have more treatments that are actually effective. All of that are positives in this. But we just saw it in North Korea. I mean, given we don't know exactly what's been going on, but the rumors are and the reports have been that they have had almost no outbreaks of COVID in North Korea because of their draconian measures and everything else.
True.
But because of Kim Jong-un and, we have to go kiss our celebrated godly leader's ass day, they had a giant parade and all these people came in the military and everything else. And it has created the first actual COVID outbreak in North Korea.
I just love how you named the parade.
That's what it is in my mind. I'm sorry.
The way you name the parade is freaking awesome. I love it.
But, it's so, I mean, these kind of things can be a major issue. I'm hoping with Can that, one of the problems is you're talking about a very small town here that gets a giant influx of people during this. So not a lot of room to maneuver, not a lot of room for staying spread out. Hopefully most people have been vaccinated. Hopefully some people will still be wearing their masks, but this is unfortunately an entertainment industry event and people are going to want to be seen. So I can guarantee a lot of those masks aren't going to be on. So we're just going to have to see how it goes. But again, you and I have talked about this. At some point, we have to get back to regular life and depend on other people to take care of themselves as well. We'll see where this goes. I mean, it might turn out to be nothing, could start a little bit of a problem, but we have seen small outbreaks with the different new variants and with whatever, and we've seen them pass considerably more quickly nowadays because of the treatments we have, because of the higher vaccination rates and all of that kind of stuff. So please, people, just continue to be safe, use your brains, use your sanitizer, use your mask when you can. And, I go out more now, but I'm still being careful. I mean, if I'm inside, if I'm going to be around a bunch of people, I've got my mask on.
Yeah. I mean, he wears a condom over his head,
but
he's being careful.
It's the Naked Gun full body condom, the one Leslie and Priscilla used.
You can't get any safer than that.
I still, I don't glove up. I don't, a lot of things, but I wash up when I come in the house if I've been out and I've been touching doors or anything else. Things we should be doing anyway. You never know what people have been. Do you know how few people wash their hands after they go to the bathroom and then touch those door handles? I'm
just so happy that you made it clear when you said the term glove up. You're like, I don't glove up anymore. Right after we made that comment.
See where your mind goes. Your mind has been in the gutter since we started.
You're the one that said it. You're like, I don't glove up anymore. Why? There's no point in that.
I'm sorry, folks. Dave has reverted to 13 years old for the day.
I can't help it. You're the one that said it. We were just talking about that, and then you made the comment. What do you want me to think? I thought you were actually messing with me there for a second, too. Oh Lord, it's one of those days. It's one of those Mondays. It's the heat. It's getting to me. What can I say? Well, I mean, in essence, there are a lot of people that are concerned about it because in France, their protocols are very laxed over there. They've actually lifted a lot of stuff over there, so a lot of people are concerned with this. One sales agent actually bemoaned to Variety and said, quote, "There hasn't been a major event where a lot of people didn't get COVID. There's no way Cannes will be any different." So that they're already expecting it. They're pretty much expecting that this will happen. There will be people that are infected. But as you said, if there's people that have been vaccinated well, yeah, that's the only thing. If they've been vaccinated, then they should be okay. They'll get the worst of it, but it won't be as bad as going to the hospital or anything like that. I wouldn't think.
Just what the numbers have been playing out. I mean, unfortunately, in the elderly, as you and I had talked about, the numbers do seem to be evening out amongst vaccinated and unvaccinated. Some of these new strains have been hitting the elderly exceptionally hard, and it has gotten the numbers a lot closer. The fatality numbers in the unvaccinated and the vaccinated a lot closer. Yep. But in the younger age ranges, you're still looking at a 4 to 6 times difference. death rate between vaccinated and unvaccinated. So that ought to tell you something. I mean, y'all want to yell about it's my choice. Okay, it's your choice. But, the numbers are proving out you're taking a 6 times greater chance at dying and leaving your family, brokenhearted. So I'm hoping, and again, that's why I said this is how we have to get to the point where we are trusting other people. France may have a lot of lax laws. They may have relaxed a lot of their, quarantine issues and their masking and everything else. But that doesn't mean that individuals can't still wear a mask. That
True.
doesn't mean that individuals didn't go out and get their vaccines and their boosters. It doesn't mean people aren't doing what they can to try and mitigate the factors. So all we can do is hope that enough people are doing that this does not become a giant catastrophe.
That's all we can hope for. I mean, and speaking of super spreaders, I mean, the Billboard Music Awards was the Billboard Music Awards was just this weekend as well. And like you said, Jeremy, we have to somehow get some sense of normalcy back in society. It has to happen eventually. I mean, we can't live in fear forever. I mean, it seems that COVID has become now part of the new normal. Everybody's been saying it's the new normal now. To if somebody gets infected with COVID, hopefully they're vaccinated. If not, seems like they've found ways to actually be able to combat that, obviously with younger people, with people that don't have underlying conditions, obviously. But still, you have the elderly that are still at risk. You have people that have underlying conditions, serious underlying conditions that are still at risk. I mean, there's still risk of death with COVID right now. So, all we can do is, like you said, just trust one another that the other person's doing the right thing and making
a little bit of personal responsibility, and looking out for the other guy will go a hell of a long way, rather than, my politician said this and my politician said that, and you're wrong and you're evil. Then that doesn't get us anywhere.
Remember, people, always wear a condom. Had to go ahead and put that one in there. Put that one in there. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's one of those days today. Knocked it out of the park. Anywho, I apologize for everybody that's in the
What am I going to do with him?
Dude, Joni's worse though, okay? Your fiance is worse than I am. I mean, if you say that one word, she's going to start cracking up every single time.
I said it earlier. I told you it's your duty to get this show back on track.
She was probably cracking up when you said that too. She's like, he said duty. Anyways, oh Lord. Jeremy, who are you living? Who's living among you is my question. Like, who are the people around you in your circle? I mean, you gotta love us. Anyways, moving forward, as luck would have it, we go ahead and we move on to my favorite part of the show, actually, having to do with some blind react TikToks for Jeremy to watch. I mean, he loves these, and I
do. Although today I'm a little afraid. I'm not sure you're.
Don't be afraid. Everything's okay.
How juvenile will these be?
They're not, dude. You hurt me. You sting me, sir, with a lot of these. Okay, the last one's gonna really get to you, actually, because the last one's actually kind of funny. But we'll start actually with this first one, having to do with the police investigating a murder of a spouse, and it's kind of serious. I mean, she went live, and well, check it out.
My dad called. They said they found my husband's body in the lake. That's not where I put it.
I love her. I absolutely love that. That's hysterical.
The way she said it, like, so naturally, she's like, that's not where I put it.
I mean, that was brilliant. That reminded me of my grandmother. My grandmother would do that in a heartbeat. That would be that was great. That was a great misdirection.
Oh yeah, no, I was when I first saw it. When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh wow, that's." I was like, "Ah, okay, there you go."
Well, I had a
gotta put a
feeling it
tag
was
on
going
it.
somewhere else, considering my other question, if it wasn't, was who in the hell decides to TikTok when this is going on? Um, that would be another question I would have for that situation if she was serious.
Oh, there would be
But
so many questions that would be asked in a situation like that. No, it's just it's the funniest thing because all these TikToks, you gotta love the genuine reaction or the genuine delivery of
Mhm.
all these TikToks. I mean, they totally scoop you in, and then when they get you in there, they're like, "Gotcha." They're like, "Thank you." Like the one that I showed you a couple weeks ago about the makeup. The makeup routine, and it turned out to be like, I'd like to start my day off with this type of makeup, but then afterward I put my makeup mask on, then I go ahead and drag my husband's body. And it's like, oh, that took a turn.
Yep.
That completely took a turn.
But like you said, it's a natural delivery. They're not, hitting the punchline, waiting for the punchline. No, it's just very natural, and it's almost done like a throwaway, and it makes it so much funnier.
It's just right on point. I also have another one though. This one has to do with the pronunciation. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me when I heard it the first time. And I'm sure as a chef, you're going to go ahead and hear it as nails on a chalkboard as well. But yeah, this woman had a lot to say about this one. Check it out.
Ran out of low-carb tortillas, so I used a giant cheese.
You ran out of what? Huh? Low carb what? Tortillas? That's not it. That's not it. It's a no. Okay. Now see, I'm not even Hispanic and I'm offended. Okay. Because see, I love me some street tacos. Some flour and corn tortillas. That's how you say it. Okay, that's how you say it. It's tortilla. Okay. Now I just want to let you know Roberto, Christina, Jesus, and Luis, they coming for you. They are. Because that don't make no sense. I'm offended as well. Maybe you need to eat them if you know how to pronounce some tortillas. That's disrespectful. Now I'm sick of it. And I ain't fun that I ain't.
It was great. She couldn't even keep it.
All my cousins are coming after that guy.
She busted up right at the end. She held it till the very last second she could. Oh, that was good. No, that's and the scary thing is I have heard people
Tortillas?
Yes.
Oh God.
I have. I'm not picking on the South, folks. I love the South. I love being down there. There are people I love in the South.
Tortillas.
But yeah, I've heard it, and I've heard
sounds
it
like
a few
turtle.
times. I've heard it a few times, tortillas, and it makes you want to just grab them and shake them until
they say the right word. Say tortillas. Say tortillas. Say tortillas. Not even. You don't even have to pronounce the R. The R. You don't have to roll the R. And say tortilla. Like that. Just say tortillas. I'm okay with that. All right. But tortillas. Come on. Like that's like nails on a chalkboard for me. Like, are you freaking serious?
Are you kidding? I mean, I grew up in largely Hispanic communities when I was younger. I mean, that's where my grandmother learned to cook Mexican food. That's from all of her friends. And it's so all my buddies, I mean, their grandmothers, their moms, we hung out at their house, and constantly a snack was, a tortilla with some shredded chicken and whatever they had on hand, or a tortilla with butter and cinnamon, or, just whatever. But I was raised on that stuff. I was raised in those households eating authentic food, and hearing that just makes me go, "Argh!"
Dude, seriously. I mean, I've even heard quesadillas.
Oh, I've heard quesadilla before too. That one just,
God, that just no.
I think most people who do it honestly they're doing it purposely.
I think so too, just to bug the hell out of somebody.
Just to bug someone or to mess with someone.
I'll tell you what, them quesadillas, they're good stuff right there. I tell you what, I'll go ahead and eat me a bunch of them quesadillas. It's like, really, bro?
One of my friends was big English guy and, book smart guy and all this, and it just drove him nuts when people would say things wrong. So I purposely for years would say superfluous instead of just to mess with him.
Don't ever do that in front of me. Don't ever make me cringe like that again. Oh, Lord. No.
What? It's superfluous, right?
No, it's not. It's superfluous. Stop saying that. Don't say that word. Don't be that guy.
So it was just a buddy of mine, and I loved messing with him like that. So I would hope that most people who do this, I hope most people are just screwing with people and aren't really that dumb. Because, I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard it pronounced correctly.
My question is, when you go to Mexico, you personally, Jeremy, when you go to Mexico, do you order tortilla or do you order tortilla?
I actually don't think I've ever even used the word tortilla when I've been in Mexico.
I'm wondering if you roll the tongue is what I'm trying to say. If you roll your tongue whenever you do that.
I don't bother. I mean, growing up where I grew up, I mean, I slip into a little bit of an accent sometimes, but no, I don't roll the R's. It
You're
never.
trying to tell me right now, senor, that you should not go ahead and roll your tortillas the right way, senor?
I've always felt, being as translucently white as I am, that just wasn't appropriate. It wasn't.
Gringo.
I mean, no, truthfully, that's I've never tried to put that slant on the accent or roll the R's or do anything like that. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm English, Irish, Dutch, and German. I'm about as white as they get.
Yeah, dude, you're like neon white.
It just never felt appropriate to me.
You're so white you could be clear. That's how white you are.
Thank you.
I can see right through you. Anyways, moving on. Superfluous. Don't ever. Oh man, journalism major over here. Okay, that just is like I could stand misspelling words, but mispronouncing them. Oh my God!
Did I find a new weakness to?
No, you didn't. With? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No. One of my biggest pet peeves is whenever somebody mispronounce or misspells there and there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I'm like, please spell it correctly.
I couldn't care less with normal people. I mean, yes, it's like, come on. But what kills me is you see it in journalism a lot now. Because everybody's rushing, it's just sloppy, and that's how I feel about it. You see it in journalism a lot. You see it on a lot of the sports news, sites. You see it on a lot of the just regular news sites. People they're rushing to get the story out, and they're not getting their copy checked properly, and that drives me nuts. I mean, you're a professional, you're a journalist. Come on, that's tiny stuff that you need to be getting right.
Dude, even the editors should be on top of that. I mean, they're the ones that have to oversee it before it goes out to print. So for them to not even see it, it's like, dude, you need to you need to talk to your editor. I mean, because every time it just reminds me of that episode of Friends when Ross and Rachel break up for the second time. And he's like, oh, and by the way, YOU''RE means you are. YOUR means you're. I do that all the time. Whenever I see somebody misspell it, I'm like, please don't do that. No, you're doing it wrong. I'm trying to help you, and at the same time not kill you. Okay, I'm really trying to understand. It's just yeah. Anyways, moving forward from tortillas and superfluous, we're gonna go ahead and I have this third one actually is from a Jim Brewer sketch. Now, what they did with this was they animated the sketch.
Okay.
Actually, it was from not a sketch, it was a stand-up that he did, but they made it animated, and it's brilliant. And when you watch this, you probably have seen it before, but the animation, it just got so much more to it. And I know many of us have been through this many a time. Check it out.
He's here, I'm telling you, man. Hey, Stomach, what's up, man? Listen, it's just us beer, you know? Looking for a little party, hang out, you know? Man, you know everyone, you know Coors Light, Sam Adams, Beck. Oh, hello! He's crazy, man. He's nuts. You know Heineken, and your stomach's cool with that. All right, come on in, just keep it down, all of you, understand?
Beer goes, you sure? Because there's like 20 of us here, man. Beer goes in, have a good time. Now, a party. People find out about parties. So does other liquor. Next thing you know, a couple scotches show up.
Or your stomach, cause you got a heat party going on in there. Well, they couldn't fit in some big pipers. What do you say?
Stomach, I don't know. Come on, show me.
Just went up loud.
Now you're mixing the crowd up, stomach lets them in. Now that's when tension starts. People don't know one another, and that creates tension. Scotch is walking around with his boys. Come on, boys, look at there, look at that. Look at it, look at it.
Oi! Heineken! Right here, you rod bastard, you! Don't like you!
And now there's a lot of tension. You can feel it going on in there, but now everyone's showing up. Jägermeisters and Sambuca, Sake.
Oh, what the party here tonight? What a big party! Come on, come on.
That place is packed, a lot of tension, everything's getting out of control. You still, hey, come on, guys, I'm not gonna tell you again. Keep it down. Pad up here now. And that's when the crazy people always crash the party. Who always shows up at the end of the night? Tequila. And tequila doesn't show up alone. There's always 8 or 9 of them lined up. Stomach gets all brave. How you doing, tequila? Listen. All right, it's a little late. Can't let you in tonight. I'm sorry. I let you in 3 weeks ago. You ruined the place. You hear me?
Tequila's like, come on, man, we won't start no trouble, man. We just came here to have a good time, man. Right, senor? That's right, senor. We left you warm back in the van. You won't mess with nobody.
Like an idiot, your stomach lets in one shot of tequila. And then he sneaks in all his friends when no one's looking.
Come on, man, ain't nobody looking. Go get the legs on. Go get the work. Go get the moon.
Stomach. All right, that's it. Everyone, get out.
Hey, what are we doing? Not that way, the way we came in. Let's go. Let's go, Hamheads. Everybody, out.
Always like a stubborn old hot dog.
I've been here for 9 years, and this just
Jim Brew's a genius.
Jim is always great. I have heard that one before. The animation definitely amps it up a bit.
It gives it that little something because it's like you can hear him tell the story, but when you actually see the animation for it, it's like, oh my god!
Oh, it takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very lucky. I was not a mixer. Okay. Never. If I was drinking something, that's pretty much what I was drinking for the night, short of every so often I'd have a beer and my shot of whiskey. Until my 30th birthday, in which my friends tried to kill me. And I do mean kill me. We had a place rented out in Burbank and had pool tables up top and just had a little sectioned off for us. And every time I looked down, I had a new drink in my hand. Someone was giving me something else. And I mean, it was Jaeger at one point, it was Goldschlager at one point, it was Wild Turkeys and Manhattans, and I don't know, God knows what else. But people just kept buying me drinks for my 30th. And at the good alcoholic I was, I finished each one. And then before I could, go on to do something, someone else would put another drink in my hand. Joni and our good friend Steve counted up essentially how many drinks I had, including doubles and everything else. And it was over 33 mixed drinks in the span of 2.5 hours.
God.
I've never been sicker for longer. First of all, alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, that would do it.
And second of all, the amount of mixing, the amount of sugar in some of that crap, oh man, I was hurting for days.
Oh my God, dude. I don't think I've ever done that to that extreme. My story was a little different, but I did mix. One time I went with a buddy of mine who actually just so happens to be the owner of this bar I was working at in Encino a few years ago. And nice guy too. He was starting to learn how to bartend, and I was kind of teaching him here and there how to bartend, whatever. And one night, another buddy of mine was having some sort of a party for his birthday. I think he was turning 21 actually at the time. This is years ago. And, he invited me to go to his party, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's go. So I called up my other buddy, and I was like, dude, man, you want to go to this party? He's like, yeah, sure. Let's pregame. I was like, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and pregame. Not a big deal. So we go, mind you,
not a big deal.
well, mind you, he's Armenian, and he's Armenian Russian. Never try to go toe to toe, drink for drink with an Armenian Russian, because they will outdrink the hell out of you. And I learned that the hard way.
I learned that when I was traveling in China with the Russian ballet company when I was only 14.
Let me tell you what happened. So we're in the parking lot. We're drinking Johnny Walker Green Label. And that Green Label will be very much a testament to its name, Green, later on in the story. Anyways, so what happened was that I'm taking shots with the guy. I'm drinking with the guy, whatever. And we go into the party. We go into the bar. And once we're inside the bar, he's like, you know what? I want to try some of these drinks out that I'm making. So he starts ordering a bunch of different drinks. Tokyo iced tea, Long Island iced tea, this iced tea, that iced tea, this drink, this daiquiri. And he's making me drink it along with him. Suffice to say, at the end of the night, I was out in the rain. I got kicked out. I got the table that I was at. I slammed in front of the table. They dragged me out. I was behind a car. All I remember, I was behind a car saying, Marco, where are you? Like, I was out of my mind. I get home. He dumps me in the backseat of our buddy's car. I puke in the backseat of the car, by the way. And we get to my house. I'm crawling out of the back seat, and I go smack dab right here in the middle of the forehead, right on the curb. He picks me up, takes me to the front door, knocks on my door, and he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm great." He runs back to his car, leaves me there. My mom opens the door. She just looks at me, and I'm bleeding from my the bridge of my nose. And she just looks at me. I'm thinking to myself, she's gonna kill me. She just looks at me and starts laughing her ass off. She's like, "What the hell happened to you?" And I'm like, "I fell on the curb." And she's like, "You're an idiot. Get inside." The wonderful story.
We all have our moments.
Oh yeah. It definitely happens. We have time for one more quick story having to do with sports, and this story actually is a little bit of a repeat, which is a crazy repeat. Former WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair has announced that he's going to fight his last match again. And when I say again, it's mainly because the fact of the matter that, he already fought his last match at WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels, and that was supposedly supposed to be his last match. But apparently he says that he's ending his in-ring career. He went ahead and posted and said, quote, "The rumors are true. I'm going to walk that aisle, style and profile, one last time again. July 31st, Nashville, Tennessee, Jim Crockett Promotions. I will prove once again that to be the man, you've got to beat the man. Now we go to school." Woo! So that's just funny to me because it's like, dude, you already did it. You already did it. You're doing it again. Come on.
I don't get it. I do not understand these wrestlers who, I mean, I understand if maybe they're hurting for money and they have no other choice. I mean, that's one thing. But I mean, look at Terry Funk. I mean, Terry Funk had his ranch in Texas, owned, outright, paid for, doing business, doing life, had 2 companies, all this other stuff. And at 65, 66 years old, was wrestling for Paul Heyman and them over at ECW.
Yep.
I mean, are you kidding me? And I mean, given the man's as tough as they come, but it was some of the crappiest wrestling you've ever seen. He's 66 years old or whatever the heck it was.
That's why many people said ECW stood for extreme crappy wrestling.
Well, like I said, the amount of pain and endurance those men had to endure to do that stuff, was amazing. Yeah. But the wrestling was awful for the most part. And again, it's just sad to see. I mean, if a guy like Flair needs the money that desperately,
he's 73, I think.
That's what I mean. He's well up into his 70s now. I mean, he's got to be one of the oldest wrestlers to step into the ring, like ever. That's just insane. Because first of all, it's what kind of product can you put on, up there at that age? I mean, really, at that age, you can't. I mean, what kind of risks is he going to be able to take at that age? And if he does, he's foolish. I mean, I'm sorry, that's my opinion. But if he does take those insane risks and decide to do that for his last match, he's foolish. He's 73 years old. His body has already taken more punishment than any human being should. I mean, sorry. Yes, I know kayfabe, all that. But yes, wrestling is staged. Does not make it fake, okay? These guys' bodies take more punishment than you can even imagine. And at 73 years old, the accumulation of that punishment, he would be an absolute fool to be doing anything too extreme.
Not to mention the person opposite of him having to be very careful not to cause any permanent damage or any damage, really.
Exactly. And being put in that situation, I mean, how horrible would you feel if some accident happened and you're the guy who puts the 73-year-old legend, in a wheelchair for the rest of his life or something like that? I mean, God forbid. And you're the wrestler being put in that position.
And real quick, we have somebody on our stream. Paul asked Jeremy, "Do you still have the WWE decals I gave you?"
I very well may. I have 90% of my my WWE and old school WWF stuff all boxed up with the rest of my sports memorabilia. So most likely I do.
And he also made a comment actually while we were talking about the dangers and everything. He said it's entertainment. Yes, Paul, it's entertainment. I get that. It's fake, it's entertaining, whatever. But the bumps they take, those are real. Like those when they fall on the mat. This. I mean, Paul says that he has been driving for the WWE since 2003. So you know how tough those mats are. And for a 73-year-old to hit the mat the way they do, that could still that body can't take that much anymore. Hell, even the younger ones can't take that much anymore like that.
It happens. That's the only point I'm making. I mean, even with the most fit and the best in shape, I mean, guys have gotten their backs broken because, a pile driver or a slam went wrong. Guys have gotten their necks broken. Guys have gotten, I mean, for that to happen to somebody at 73 years old would be catastrophic.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, we got Derek that also said, he said, quote, "I think Fabulous Moolah might have been the oldest. I think she wrestled until she was 80. Yeah. I think she might have been.
You may have a point there. You may have a point there.
Yeah. Paul actually also said, I gave you the decals. I keep on calling them decals. The decals at the Hollywood show. See, your mispronunciation of stuff is starting to rub off on me, Jeremy. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Anyways, we got to wrap things up right here. That's the news. In case you haven't heard it, thank you so much for joining the Navarro-Miller Report. As usual, we have another great show. This Friday, we have a musical artist that's going to be joining us. We'll give you a little bit more of those details in the next few days, so make sure you join us for that. She's going to be a special guest co-host, and we're possibly going to be playing some of her music as well. But that's it for me. I'm your host, Dave Navarro.
I'm Jeremy Miller.
And it's been a pleasure to be here for everybody. It hasn't been a pleasure being next to this guy, but of course, today I tormented you as much as possible.
Yes, but I have proof now. You said I am a better man.
I'll go ahead and edit that out.
I have the proof.
I could edit that out. That's not a problem. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll make sure to see you next time.
You have been listening to the Navarro-Miller Report.